everybody back to Becoming Podcast. Today we have Katharine Tacon with us, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's lovely. Before we get underway, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Jim at dreaminc.eu and Hotel Boutique Leonardo here in Port Towel. So thank you very much for your support, guys. Thank you very much. Hey, lovely to have you here.
I know.
How come you're in New York? How come you got to be living here?
Oh, that's a good question. It was a synchronicity of three things, actually. Okay. So first thing happened, my husband, who's a yacht captain, got a job here permanently based in Mallorca, and the owners of the boat were really wanting to keep the family unit together, so asked us if we would come and live over here. My daughter's school closed.
Oh.
So there was another indication that something was moving.
Yeah.
And then our landlord from the house said, we'd like to take the house back because we'd like to sell it. And when you see that synchronicity, 1, 2, 3, we were like, you know what, we love the island, having both been sailors in sort of previous lives, and Dallas, my husband, still is a sailor.
Yes.
We decided, why not? Love the island, so come and have a new adventure.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we've been here a year now.
I love it. I love it when things like that come together, isn't it? It's just showing you, it's not just one or two, but when 3 messages come through from our guides, from everybody that's there. And we've got some wonderful samples here on the table. What do you do? What is all this?
Well, really, firstly, I'm a massage therapist.
Okay.
A mum, a wife, and a student of life. I think we have to get that in there.
Yeah.
And I'm currently in the school of unlearning, and this is where the adventure starts, because everything I thought I knew, I've re-looked at and thought, let's have a look at this all over again. Yeah. And now I'm in the school of relearning. And this is where I came into Shungite. And all that you can see here is a collection of Shungite. And really, I came into this during the COVID period.
Right. So what is Shungite?
Well, Shungite is a non-crystalline black mineraloid.
I love that word.
Mineraloid. And in its rawest form, this is a piece of Shungite elite.
Yes.
And it's believed to have come from a meteor that landed in an area in Russia, a little village called Shunga, which is where it gets its name, Shungite. And this is believed to have occurred over 2 billion years ago.
Wow.
So obviously we're not around at that time to know for certain, but from all of the scientists that have been working on it, that's the general consensus, that's the understanding. So, and it has a number of incredible properties. So one of the first things, which is where I got into it, was because it harmonises and attenuates electromagnetic frequencies. Right. So during COVID, I couldn't work as a massage therapist, so I started doing some research. Always been interested in energy, frequency and vibration. Just always realised that there's something else going on that we can't see that has an effect on us. Sure. And so that was looking into the rollout of 5G. And I was a bit alarmed by what I discovered.
Yes.
The fact that we've gone from 4G, which is 3 to 4 gigahertz, to 5G, which is 24.
Yes.
That's an 8-fold increase.
It's huge, isn't it? Huge. And people don't realise the difference, really.
No, and the safety concerns and the safety testing for that, that concerned me that it hadn't really been done, and that we are the experiment.
Yes.
So the fact that you can't see it, it's another form of radiation, it's another pollutant.
Yes.
But this one has major effects on the body, and radiation sickness manifests itself in things like tinnitus, headaches and migraines, fatigue, numbness, general feeling of brain fog. So these kind of things, they are radiation sickness illnesses, and we're seeing that more and more at the moment, which caused me concern, especially with a young family. So I started to look at solutions, because I was like, listen, every single problem has a solution. We just need to find it. And that's when I stumbled across Shungite.
Wow.
And I love the fact it was natural. And what it actually does is every single molecule that makes up a piece of Shungite is called a fullerene. Okay. And it's shaped like a soccer ball. Right. And what happens is all man-made radiation, so since the time of electricity, is all left rotating, the electromagnetic field. Yeah. And we as human beings, and the sun and the earth, we all right rotate, so it's natural. Okay. And what happens is those EMFs create an imbalance in our natural rotation, which means when you do like a kinesiology test, you can actually see that imbalance on the body and you are weakened.
Yes, yes.
And what this does, cleverly enough, however it does it, it turns that from left rotation into a right rotation.
Right.
So when you wear a piece of Shungite, I've got a little moon on me and some bracelets here. I always have some piece of Shungite on me. What it's doing is it's harmonising all of that for me. So it's harmless to the body. And it comes in lots of different forms, and it has many, many other health benefits as well, including helping with things like insomnia. It's great for your blood. It's really good for meditation. So these, for example, are some harmonizing rods. And as a massage therapist, in between my clients, to sort of clear the energy and the meridians and the chakras of my body, I can sit with Shungite. So the Shungite is in the left hand, and this will be an other. So this will be a yin material, like soapstone or statite, and then this is the yang, the male energy, and you hold them, and you can sit and just relax and enjoy that for about 5 minutes, and this will be re-energizing the body. And some people can feel it. You know, when you hold it, you can actually
You're
feel
sensitive
it.
enough to feel that.
Enough to feel.
And we did this test with the full moon ceremonies that you came to a little while ago. We did that test with everyone, didn't you? That large group.
Oh yes, I had the energy stick.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't bring it today. I'm sorry, I should have brought that along today.
Never mind.
We have an energy stick that when you hold, as we are conductors of electricity, you hold both sides and it creates light and sound.
That's right.
And you hold that. And one of the things that Shungite is, it is also a conductor of electricity. So you put that on one end and you will see that it'll still light up and make the sound as well.
That's right.
And we did that in a large group, didn't we? So we had 20 people all holding hands, and we made the little gadget come alive, and then we put a piece of Shungite in between and did the same. And I think the magic of that is to see, especially the children, they were just like, oh my goodness, this is magic. They did, didn't they? They loved it. They thought it was their little superpower. So it was very good.
And so, is there a science behind this?
Well, 3 professors won the Nobel Prize for chemistry for their discovery of the fullerenes that make up the Shungite.
Oh wow! Okay.
So it is all scientifically proven, and there is a lot of data on it. But obviously, you're going to have people out there that will poo-poo the fact that a mineraloid from outer space is going to be able to do anything. But the Russians use this all the time. They actually use a Shungite paint that they put with all their armory and their tanks and all their equipment. They are well ahead of us in terms of their protection for the general public and also for their military. So they all do it. Peter the Great, who was the first Tsar that really found out about Shungite, he used to give it all to his soldiers. And the reason he gave it to his soldiers is because it also purifies water. So they discovered that the people that lived in the area of Shunga were really healthy. And Peter the Great, he actually had a liver problem himself, and some of his men had scurvy. And also, there was a copper factory nearby, and a lot of those men were sick. They were poisoned by some of the processes of producing the copper. And they were fed the Fountain of Youth water, which was water that had been passed through the area of Shunga, and they made a miraculous recovery, as did Peter the Great and his problems with his liver. So he called for an investigation, and they did some research, and he opened the first ever spa in the area near Karelia on Lake Onega, which is where they did lots of treatments and they helped lots of people. So what it actually does with terms of water is it neutralizes toxins. So anything like heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, bacteria. In fact, they did a study and they had bars of water, and it had E. coli in. They put the Shungite in that water, and after 3 days there was no traces of E. coli at all. So it's just a matter of how long you leave your Shungite in the water for the length of time it takes to purify it.
Right, okay.
So most of the water that comes out of our taps is dead water. So by the time it's gone through all the piping and the procedures, there's really not much in the way of nutrients left in the water for us. But by putting a piece of shungite, like this is the perfect piece for, a litre of half of water.
Yeah.
And I tend to leave it overnight. So I put it in the night before, leave it, and then start drinking the next day. But if it was stream water or dirtier water, you would try and leave it for 3 days.
Right.
To ensure, knowing that information about the E. coli, that you may as well copy that same principle and leave it for as long as you can. Yeah. So we tend to have a couple of jugs on the go.
Yes.
And one of the magical things as well about Shungite, so we love Tesla. Yeah. And his belief in the power of the number of 3, 6, and 9, and said that the future of medicine will be the future of energy, frequency, and vibration. Yeah. Also, what happens is when 3 pieces of shungite get together, they create an extra coherent energy field. So making it more stable and more effective. Wow. So you have 1, amplifies with 2, amplifies with 3. And so quite often we sell these as a 3 because of that extra effect. And then it creates an extra energizing form so it can energize the water. And that's actually adding nutrients and goodness into the water as well that you didn't have when you started with the tap water that comes out. It's a nice alternative, a natural alternative to purifying your water. Yeah. And it's used in agriculture. In the agricultural industry, they know all about it. Okay. And they use it for carbon filters because, well, I didn't say at the beginning, but this is 98% carbon, a piece like this. So it has a lot of fullerenes. And also fullerenes are known as the antioxidant of the 21st century. So when it's all that goodness you can imagine, that's all coming into our bodies through the water. And also just by being on us, really. Yeah. And then a piece like this beautiful sphere.
It's wonderful.
It's a fabulous piece, isn't it? This stunning geometric shape here, which creates a harmonious flow in rooms. So it's really good in bedrooms, in main living rooms where lots of people are. That lovely flow there. This is sort of 35 to 40% carbon, which means it can be shaped. Okay. So all of the things that you can see that have shape or form, like this, have all, they're all about 35-40% carbon, like the necklaces, etc. Gives you an idea, but yeah. Sure.
So the ones that are in form like these here compared to these ones here, there is a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference, and this is just so brittle as well. So if you drop that on the floor, it probably breaks.
Oh, really?
So you need to be careful when you're using the Elite. Yes. We do necklaces, and one of the most interesting things about the Shungite is because it's removing toxins all the time. The glue that's used to put the pin in sometimes can be eaten away, completely dissolved by the Shungite. Right. So sometimes we've had it that the pin falls out, you have to glue it back in and push it back in. But it's not a fault of the thing, it's just the power of the Shungite of what it's doing. So that's quite a novelty thing. It's like, it does seem to have a mind of its own somehow. A bit of AI intelligence.
That's another topic altogether. Yeah. What is your ultimate goal with what you're doing?
I think raise awareness for solutions to problems. I think we're bombarded with a lot of fear out there at the moment. There's all these things going wrong everywhere. But we just got to not panic. Don't panic. Take a breather and just look for solutions. There are always, like the same with medicine. You can have a headache, you can run for an ibuprofen, or you could get some peppermint essential oils and rub it on your temples. It's choice. And it's just to empower people to realise that you're not alone. No. There are lots of people that are concerned about these things, but do your due diligence, do some research, and start looking into things like Shungite if you're concerned, especially if you're EMF sensitive. Right. Because that is a huge problem for those.
Those who are watching, what's EMF?
Oh, electromagnetic frequencies.
So just if you weren't too sure from there, and you get that from your phones, the computers, the TV.
Correct. 5G towers. And
5G.
super sensitive individuals can't even find a place to be in the world because we're so over bombarded.
Yes.
So there are a few places where there's little or less EMF radiation from everything, but for them, you know, it becomes quite problematic, you know, even having to wear EMF protective clothing and that. But you're seeing now more and more people are becoming more sensitive, you know. It's the same as like the canary in the coal mine.
Yes.
That was a warning sign for gases and things like that. Yes. But actually, unfortunately now, we've got too many people that are becoming that. Yeah. And we're seeing that translate into things like it develops into cancers and things. So it's just about what we can do to help our health, really.
Well, it is, and it's the choice that we have, is that we take the power ourselves, or we give our power away, you know, which we've talked about ourselves separately, and another cast in that as well. Is that, you know, we have a choice. We either, you know, take it's like the blue and the red tablet, or, you know, we go to the pharmacy or the doctor for any little thing instead of taking responsibility for ourselves and looking at Shungite and other areas where we can take back control ourselves. Because if we have a flu, or we have something that's going on with the body, it's going to take a few days for it to clear anyway, isn't it? It's not just going to happen like that. Yeah. And with the pharmaceutical medicines, it certainly blocks the natural healing process that we have. But this doesn't. This allows it to flow and to come out.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just like enhances things, speeds the process up, really, which is really nice. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. And is there one person that you admire with the work that you're doing, or any other areas, and why?
I think at the moment I really admire my sister.
Yep.
We've been in business together now about 4 years, and she really does have resilience. She's stuck by me through all of these adventures, whatever pathway we've gone down, or whatever route we've done. You know, there are so many people I admire, like in the great media world, etc. But sometimes I think it's nice to bring it to the local, like the man in our local village who sells our organic veggies, and he has everything from Mallorca. You know, so you've got lots of choice, and he's just there day in, day out, you know, delivering this service to the people. Yes. But again, coming back to my sister, she's just such a kind, caring, reliable person that for me, she's really my roots, my base for me to go out and do what I do. Yes. And obviously I give a lot of talks about Shungite and talk about all different subjects, bees, essential oils, lots of the areas that I'm interested in, bioresonance, and all of those areas that are of interest to me. She's always there as my backbone, and I really appreciate
that's great.
that.
It really is. And to be a family member as well. And so together in so many different areas, you know, spiritually, mentally, emotionally.
In fact, actually, we've come together even more so since COVID and since the passing of our parents. Yeah. We somehow seem to morph onto that same pathway, and our views and our values and our beliefs and our ethics are very, very similar. Yeah, and it's nice. It's good for all the family, and it's good for the people that we know around us, that we are quite a strong unit of support. Keep the families together.
It's important. Families, communities.
Yep.
So important now. So important. More than ever before. Is there one thing that you'd like people to take away from today that you feel is important for them?
I think just to keep an open mind, you know, really just don't accept everything that you've ever learned or heard of or thought of or been told as read. You know, there are lots and lots of different things going on in our world, and I think be that curious person who just wants to find out more about this. Look, like I say, do your research. Yes. And you know, if you want to know more about Shungite, you can always, you know, come to us. And I have an open day every Tuesday at my home.
Yes, I must remember that.
You must come. Yeah. In fact, I've got some interesting people coming up this Tuesday.
Oh, have you? Okay.
So maybe this Tuesday would be good.
Yeah.
So from 12 till 3, and it's really a space. I just hold space for people. So they can come and we have a chat. Sometimes we have a soup, and other people will bring things to share.
Right.
But it is really a space for community where we can be free to speak and there's no judgment,
right.
and anyone can come. Wonderful. And we might talk about Shungite, we might not. I've had a few spiritual people who've done some beautiful ceremonies and things. It just depends. I never know, and so it's just sort of, I don't know who's coming, when, how, and that's really good fun.
Do you feel this is part of like your outlook on life? Is what you're offering, what you're giving and sharing with people? Yeah,
very much. It's all about networking and connecting. Yeah. For me, I really see if we can help spread our community and put more like-minded people so they feel a sense of community, because I think we've been so divided through the COVID period mainly. That really has been a fundamental separation, and what we're trying to do is reunite, like magnetize all of these people back into groups so that they don't feel alone, so that they feel that their voice is heard, so that they're understood and know that they're not being judged, because that's really important. None of this shame on you for this or this or that and the other. It's like, listen, we're here to help and provide that space really. So.
And I think with the COVID thing, it sort of backfired from the people that into the bigger story of what actually happened and what's actually has gone down, is that it has brought people together more.
Yeah, and it's made people look at their lifestyle. It's made them think about, maybe we're going to grow our own vegetables. Maybe we're going to get some chickens. Maybe we're going to get bees like me. Maybe. I mean, and I think it's been healthy in that sense. I mean, we've obviously been through a lot of trauma and tragedy through that same period of time. Not to pull wool over that, but and to all those that have lost during that time, horrendous. But there will, as always, out of the darkness, there comes light.
For sure.
I believe that.
So fantastic, really. Shungite, really interesting. If you have a chance, like, share, subscribe to our channel down below as we bring you more really fascinating, interesting people with what they're doing for their community and for the world. How do people get in contact with you? What's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, we have an online shop at Angel of Wellness, so it's www.angelofwellness.co.uk.
Okay, we'll maybe put this below. We might put it up top, depending on how Cam organises this. But we'll certainly have the contact details underneath the video.
Yep, and then we are on Instagram. So we have angel.of.wellness on Instagram. We have Shungite Sisters.
Shungite Sisters,
which is me and my sister. And also, we've just started on the new adventure of TikTok, which wasn't our plan. Neither of us. There was a lot of resistance to going on TikTok. But really about communicating and educating through that medium is actually quite a useful tool. And again, that's just Shungite Sisters. So if you want to know little bits, little clippings of things we've said, there's so much to talk about that is too difficult in just one sitting. But there's we can talk and talk, but you can go there as a good starting point.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming in. It's lovely having you here. We're going to have you back in soon, because bees is a big topic and we don't want to get into it too much at the moment, but oh my gosh, there's some wonderful information that Katharine is going to share with you on that one as well. So thank you. Wonderful having you.
Really. Thank you so much.
That was good. A big thank you to our sponsors, Jim at dreaming.eu and Boutique Hotel Leonardo here in Port Arthur, and we look forward to catching up with you all very soon.